Hello and welcome to this edition of PC Voyage. I'm Rainey Laviolette. Haven't forgotten about Andrew Doty. We're going to hear more from him in a moment. On tonight's show, we have Bob Clements with PC Voyage News, Tim Hamlet with questions and answers, Jim Dilks with bits and PCs, and Chip, our computer assistant. How you doing, Chip?
Hi, Andy. Hi, Rainey. It's good to see you again. We have a very busy show this week, so let's get going. Let me know if I can be of service. By the way, Rainey, how's your diet coming? I cannot see you from here anymore.
You know, Rainey, I've kind of noticed that you're a lot closer to the table today. What reason is that?
I can move far away. We designed PC Voyage to keep you informed of the latest news in the computer industry. Occasionally, we'll have segments on what you can do with your newly found home or business appliance. Tonight, my co-host and president of Advantage Computer Consulting in Springfield, Andrew Doty, will be discussing word processors and how easy they are to make your life easier. Boy, that didn't sound right, did it?
I don't know.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Well, you're always here. We're just...
Yeah, but it's different on this side of the table. The atmosphere is different. The air is a lot cleaner. We start off this evening by, everybody has, that has a computer always wonders, what can I do with my computer? And one of the most popular things I feel is going to be word processing, because everybody at one time or another writes to friends, relatives, so on and so forth. And if your writing is as bad as mine, you definitely need a word processor. Way back when people purchased typewriters, Smith Corona and so on and so forth, they'd bang away at the keyboard and they'd make a mistake and several obscenities would be yelled and so on and so forth. Well, that's changed with the computer era. Make a mistake now, it's as simple as hitting a key and erasing the mistake. In fact, the computer can even find the mistake for you. Basic word processors should have the following things. They should have an import and export facility so that you can gain access to documents from other word processors or the one you're currently using if you wish to change. They should have at least a thesaurus and a spell checker. Most of the spell checkers today are quite vast, ranging in several megabytes with 150 to 300,000 words. All of them can be expanded. The hardware can be anything from a standard PC with a floppy drive ranging anywhere up to a 33 megacycle 486 with hundreds and hundreds of megabytes worth of space. The one thing that remains constant, however, is what you need to run a word processor. Word processors' average cost should be somewhere around $100 to $300 based upon what you want for features. The word processor that Advantage Computer Consulting uses is WordPerfect 5.1. We'll be demonstrating that very shortly. Again, some of the things you should look for is it should have a spell checker. It should have a thesaurus. And another interesting feature to have would be the ability to view the document before it's ever printed. In this age where we're trying to save the trees and not go with that old adage, better systems through forestry, an on-screen viewer is by far a godsend. The ability to look at the document as it's going to look on the paper before it ever hits the paper. This lets you make changes, modifications, spelling corrections, and even zoom in to see how the document looks before it's actually printed. If you have a dot matrix printer, this view option will come in very handy. Dot matrix printers take large quantities of time to print graphics and text that's not within their own capability. Laser printers are a lot faster and yield a much better output. Other features to look for would be the spell checker should be expandable. Some of the previous programs used had a non-expandable spell checker. That is not, in a medical field where you have a doctor who uses large medical words, or perhaps even a writer who may use some Old English terms or express literary freedom while writing, an expandable spelling checker can be an asset. Again, the word processor that we use is WordPerfect 5.1. WordPerfect 5.1 retails for about $260. The unit that comes with an import and export facility, a conversion utility, a graphics import and export facility, a print preview, an expandable spelling checker, and a thesaurus. What I'll do now is I'll attempt to demonstrate WordPerfect 5.1 here. All right. What we're going to do is just simply call in a document. Documents, as they're shown on the screen, do not necessarily reflect the actual way they're going to look when printed. However, it gives you a pretty good idea. You'll notice here we have a small line inserted here. It says Text 1. WordPerfect has the ability to import text boxes and insert them anywhere on the page so that you could put your business logo or perhaps even a signature, as I do, to sign the documents as they come out the printer. One of the features that word processors will enhance in your life is the ability to do word wrap. It used to be when you typed on a manual typewriter, you'd have to figure out, well, can I fit this word? Word processors, as a rule, will actually take the word, if they don't fit, and bring them down onto the next line. This feature is another asset, in my opinion, because I can remember typing way out into the margin, and after all, margins are set there for a reason. Another interesting option is justification. Word processors will do automatic justification. If you've ever tried to do justification by hand, which means lining up both sides of the margin with the words, no gaps on the end, no gaps in the beginning, similar to newspaper type print. The word processors are capable of doing that for you automatically. This gets you better output, higher quality, and a lot better looking document. Most word processors, including WordPerfect, can be purchased, again, at local retail outlets for about $100 to $260 based upon what you'd like for options. I recommend WordPerfect 5.1. They have an excellent support, and it appears to be a pretty good award-winning program with a lot of features that I couldn't even begin to tell you about on this show.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. You mentioned different word processors being anywhere from $100 on up. Are they going to find all the features that something like WordPerfect is going to have, and is that probably good enough for their home use?
I would say that it wouldn't have anywhere near the abilities of WordPerfect, but the average home user would not require some of the features such as bibliographies that this thing will perform and table of contents and so on and so forth that I really don't think anybody's going to need. Those will function just fine.
What about Windows word processors?
Windows word processors basically function in the same fashion: word wrapping, graphics import, export, so on and so forth. However, they enhance your life a little bit by making it easier to get those things accomplished.
You don't have to in a Windows word processor because it's a graphical environment. You don't have to go into a view document mode. You can automatically see the document as you're working on the screen, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That gives true to what you see is what you get.
Well, great. You're going to be joining me back over here on this side of the table in a minute, and right after Chip brings you and next, Chip will bring you the trivia question for this week.
Here are this week's computer trivia questions. Number 1. What do HMP and UMP stand for? And number 2. When a PC boots, which file runs first? The autoexec.bat file or the config.sys file?
Welcome back. I'm on this side of the table now. Feels better to be over here. Well, Rainey, I've heard of an HMO, but HMB?
HMA, you mean?
Yeah.
What does that make UMB? Abbreviation for an umbrella?
Who knows?
Maybe Bob Clements, who's here with the news, has the answer for us. Do you, Bob?
Not the foggiest.
Okay. Well, why don't you give us the news then?
Okay. How are you guys this evening? How are you people out there? Welcome to PC Voyage News. We've got a few stories here about trouble in the mail order business, tax fraud going high-tech, Microcom virus discovers a new virus on the Macintosh computers, the Acer Group new low-end computers, AST Research offers price cuts on color notebooks, and the 1992 Computer Super Bowl, or Computer Bowl. First story. Microcom says that its Virex antivirus software has detected a previously unknown Macintosh computer virus. The virus, name code 252, was identified by a customer using Virex's record scan tool. The virus employs a trigger date of June 6th and replicates every time an infected file is launched prior to that date. On or after June 6th, the virus stops spreading and displays a message that reads, "You are infected with a virus. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha. Now erasing all disks, ha ha ha, ha ha ha." The virus doesn't actually erase any files, but the files remain infected until launched, says Microcom. Is the mail order PC industry headed toward trouble? A number of industry analysts seem to think so. With strong competition from computer superstores and other discount outlets, mail order is no longer the only way to buy a PC at rock bottom price. In addition, the Supreme Court later this year will rule on whether mail order marketers must collect sales taxes for the states they ship their products to. Several firms that got their start selling PCs via mail order, including Dell and CompuAdd, are now diversifying into retail outlets. Tax fraud is going high-tech, claims the IRS. The IRS reports that 2/3 of the 4,775 bogus returns it has uncovered this year were filed electronically. They're basically doing the same thing people have been doing for years with phony paper returns, the IRS spokesman Don Roberts told the Associated Press. Electronic filing has just added an element of speed. The IRS says it has uncovered 659 schemes to defraud the government. The most popular uses a borrowed Social Security number to create a bogus W-2 statement. The Acer Group is shipping a pair of low-end computers. The Acer Mate 386SX20N uses a 20 megahertz 386SX microprocessor. It offers 1 megabyte of memory, expandable to 5, a 3.5-inch floppy drive, and integrated VGA graphics. The system costs $795 and offers an 80 megabyte hard disk as an optional. The Acer Mate 38633 uses a 33 megahertz 80386 CPU. It features 4 megabytes of memory, expandable to 64 megs, a 3.5 floppy disk drive, and ultra VGA graphics. The system costs $1,995. A 125 megabyte hard disk is optional. AST Research has announced an 18% price cut on all models of its premium exec 386SX 25C color notebook computer. The least expensive version now costs $3,295. And which cartoon character used the UNIVAC to solve a mystery? Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, or Porky Pig? You'll have to wait until next month to find the answer. That's when Boston's Computer Museum stages its annual Computer Bowl competition. The event, moderated by Microsoft Chairman Bill Gates, will appear on PBS stations in mid-May. Portions of PC Voyage News are courtesy of the Prodigy service. That's it, folks. Good night.
Well, thanks, Bob. Are you going to be attending the Computer Bowl?
I haven't decided yet.
You know, being that it's in Boston this year, I thought it would be kind of nice if you took all of us out there. And
Well, my daughter might like it.
well, I think we'd all like it. You should take us all along.
Feel free to invite us to dinner, out to anywhere you like as well. We'll see.
Down
where
on my yacht.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
As long as it's expensive. You know, this is the third Computer Bowl, and I think each team has won once. The East has won once, and the West has won once, and maybe this time the East will win again.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Next up, Tim Hamlet with question and answers after Chip delivers the trivia question answer.
Here are this week's computer trivia answers. Number 1. HMA stands for High Memory Area. UMB stands for Upper Memory Block. And number 2. After the operating system is loaded, the config.sys file runs, followed by the autoexec.bat file.
Welcome back. Geez, Rainey, I forgot what I was going to ask you.
You always seem to come back from the breaks laughing. You think of something funny just before we come back?
I don't know. It's just funny being on a TV show, and it's great. It's hot though, but it's great.
Speaking of funny, here's Tim Hamlet with questions and answers.
Oh, thank you, Rainey.
Are you going to be funny tonight?
Possibly.
He might experience an upper memory block, such as I just had.
Okay. Hello to you out there, and welcome to another session of PC Voyage's Questions and Answers. One of the most often asked questions of new computer users, and especially those who have just started using Windows, is what is multitasking? Well, there are really 3 different types of multitasking. The first is context switching. This is the simplest type of multitasking, where 2 or more applications are loaded into memory, but only the foreground application is giving processing time by the computer. In order to activate a background application, the user must bring that window or screen to the foreground. Windows utilizes this type of multitasking. The second type is called cooperative multitasking. The best example of this is the Macintosh operating system, where background applications are given time when the foreground application is idle, like when it's waiting for a keystroke, and if the foreground application allows it. The third kind of multitasking is called time slice multitasking. In this type, each application is given the microprocessor's time for a fraction of a second. This type is exemplified by the OS/2 operating system. To maintain order, each task is assigned a priority level or is processed in sequential order. And because a human sense of time is extremely slow compared to that of a computer's, time slice multitasking operations seem to us to take place simultaneously. Back when computers were first becoming popular, there was no confusion when it came to random access memory. When expanded and extended memory were introduced, the issue became very confusing. So, just what is expanded and extended memory? Well, look at this graphic. The graphic represents a PC XT machine with a megabyte of memory. Your DOS is loaded down here, your device drivers, your TSRs are loaded next, and then comes your program data, your programs and your data. Up in here is your video, and your ROM BIOS is way up here at the top at a megabyte of memory. Okay, when an expanded memory is a physical card that you place in the machine, and through the use of an extended memory manager, you set up a page frame inside your program and data block in here. As the program needs data from the expanded memory card, the memory manager pages it in and out of the card as required. If you have a 380 or a 286 or a 386 machine with more than a megabyte of memory, okay, you have this up here, which is the extended memory, the area above 1 megabyte. You can again use a memory manager to simulate an expanded memory card using this memory up here as the expanded memory card. Okay, here's the expanded memory card simulated, okay, and you can also use this extended memory up here to load parts of your DOS and your device drivers and your TSRs. Okay, in the XT machines, the page frame is set up in conventional memory, and like I just said, in 286 machines and higher, the page frame is set up in the upper memory blocks. Okay, Another way to get around this is that you can also get an operating system such as the OS2 operating system that will directly address this memory up here. Okay, and that's all I have for you tonight. Rainey? Andy?
Gee, thanks, Tim. Hey, Rainey, what's that you're reading there?
It's a software called Xtree. And what we're going to be doing with this, it's a file and disk management piece of software. And for those of you who write in your questions to Tim, we're going to be giving this away on a future show. So make sure that you send in your questions to Tim. Well, you'll automatically be entered into the raffle for this, whether your question is read or not. So get your questions in, and make sure that when you put your address, when you give us your address, make sure to include your phone number as well.
Yeah, please do. Write in. We like to hear from you. Comments are also included. They won't be entered into the raffle, but would be greatly appreciated. Next up, Jim Dilks with Bits and PCs.
If you have any questions for Tim, or if you have any comments about the show, please write to us. Our address is PC Voyage, P.O. Box 6295, Holyoke, Massachusetts, 01041.
Welcome back. You know, Rainey, I hope a couple people write in. Be interesting to hear what some of these people have to say about the show. Suggestions, please. Send in suggestions, what you'd like to see, and so on and so forth.
Well, I hope that people write in more than a couple, otherwise the odds for winning this package is 50-50. So we want to see as many people out there writing in questions to Tim as possible, so we can have...
1 in 110,000 would be great.
You're dreaming, too.
Well, you know, it's worth it.
Not that many people know we're on yet.
It's worth it. Yeah, well, that'll change, too.
That's true. And now here's Jim Dilks with Bits and PCs.
Good evening, Andy and Rainey. This evening I'm going to be talking about the directory command. This command here is used to get directories of your hard drive and different drives that you might have on your machine. It's got a lot of different applications. We'll start off with just the basic command. Okay. What we have here is just the straight dir command right here. And when we press our return, what we wind up with is a lot of information scrolling by the screen. Now, if you were looking for a specific program or something in here, it would be very hard to see that. So there are several other commands that go along with the directory command that help you out with this. First one we'll try is the dir/w. And what that will do is when we execute the command, it moves everything across the screen like this, so that you have 5 across so that you can see more of the programs. But another problem we just run into is it scrolled it off the screen. And it also doesn't give you how much your extension, like the date, the time it was created, and the size of the program. So what we have another command here that we'll use that's called, this is called a key at the end. And what we have here is /p. And what that will do is cause the directory command to pause at the end of, it'll only scroll so far up the screen and then stop. And this allows us to be able to see the extension and all the rest. And also, if we're looking for a specific program to execute, we can find it very easily here. We have to proceed on, of course, because it will keep going until we reach the end of the directory. There's an awful lot of information in here. At the end of the directory, it also tells you how many files are here. We have 121 files. So another way to do this is to use the more command. Okay, this more is a program that is stored in DOS. And what it'll do for you is when you type dir/, this is a pipe symbol, okay? And the pipe is 2 straight lines, one over the other. If you use the pipe symbol and the more command, it performs primarily the same function but it puts more at the end of it. And we go right on through again. And this is just another way of doing the P command. I've also discovered on this next command we're going to do, we're going to use the sort command along with the more command. Now what the sort command will do for us, it'll sort these in alphabetical order as we run. So that it makes it a little easier to find things in here because everything is now sorted alphabetically so you can see what's going on. Okay. And our next command, what I'm going to do is use a wildcard along with the sort and the more command to only find the exe files in the in the directory. What we have here is an asterisk. That means find everything that any name, previous name, like right up here we have, I don't happen to see one, but okay, it'll give you the name, then the extension. Anything with an extension of exe will now print out on the screen, sorted alphabetically. All we get now is just exe.
Thanks a lot, Joe. You know, Andy, Keith gave me something before the show that I don't know if you're aware of, but you actually got a fan letter. And I figured I'd bring it out here tonight and show everybody your great fan letter. In fact, it's even written in crayon. And it says, Andy, we love to watch you on PC Voyage. Love the Andy Doty fan club. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
I'm honored.
But,
I'm really honored.
You know, I don't know, did I get any fan mail? Does anybody have my fan mail? You know, I know Andy got one letter. Did I get anything?
I got yours, here.
Oh, thanks a lot, Tim. Gee.
You really know how to make a co-host feel useless, you know?
Well, here, you can have this one.
Oh, gosh. On that note, tune in next week for PC Voyage.
What'd you think?